Welcome everyone, I am the Depressed Eeyore and this is Final Fantasy Tactics. So it's been a while since I last played and I figured it would be as good a time as any to go ahead and do another voting thing. I need to take a short break anyway because I'm going to be busy with work for the next week or so. So, yeah. As far as I had got some comments mentioning that there were only 4 chapters in this game. I could have sworn there was 5, but in any case, this was as good a time as any to go ahead and do another voting opportunity. One, we've gotten some new characters, and we're on our way to fight another demon, so might as well. We didn't really do one after Elmdor, so we did the Elmdor fight, and we've done the side quests. We've gotten a bunch of new characters, so yeah, probably good as time as any. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly go over stuff and try to figure out a few, see what we got. Currently we have a full party, so any new characters will require us to lose a party member. The only person that is remaining that I intend on picking up possibly is Cloud. Now if there's no interest in picking up Cloud, I may wait a while before I actually attempt to get him. Simply to give an opportunity for someone to pick him up if they really care to, but obviously the situation is a bit limited. If there's been no response yet, I could just drop Beowulf at this point since I got Reese already. Anyway, I did get at least reviewing some of the comments. It's been a while since I had I saw the comments as they came up, but I quickly reviewed some of them before making this video. The only feedback I got initially is for Stadio, which I pressed the wrong button for. I actually forgot that engineers can actually use bow guns and bows. So we'll give him the Ultimus bow, which is the strongest bow in the game. It is 14 attack power plus 1 speed. So this makes him have 17 speed, 17 attack. Damage for a bow is speed and attack averaged together times your weapon power. So this is 17 times 14. So you're looking at, like, I don't know, 230 something damage base, something like that, which is probably better than the gun, simply because the gun's not bad. It's just the fact that Stadio is not really built for magic attacks, so it's not as great. It was decent on Kiyomi, but obviously Kiyomi has a dragon rod. Speaking of dragon rods, I gave Ramz a dragon rod, so now he has some sort of decent melee attack. And yeah, let's go ahead and just review what we got. There hasn't been really any changes to Ramz in a while. He is a Master Wizard with secondary Master Priest. He still has Hamado. I don't think it's changed anytime for now, and has magic attack up. Oreck has defense up, abandon, pretty much has the best javelin and shield in the game, among other things. He has punch art, which, yay for stuttering. Sorry about that. Alright, anyway, so Oreck knows at least some of the support abilities for punch arts, but that's really all I use it for. I haven't really had much need to use things like Earth Slash and Wave Fist, especially since he has a jump ability that goes much further than most of those attacks. But besides that, he's reasonably tanky, he has a lot of HP, really good evasion. I mean, his evasion's with abandon, he's practically untouchable, from the front anyway. The sides might be a little bit different. Anyway, Erin the Dancer. Now, I haven't been using Erin as much as of late, mainly because, you know, dancing generally takes a while to actually kind of rev up. And a lot of the things we've been fighting have been doing a lot of burst damage and require a lot of immediate actions in the beginning of the fights, especially since everything we fight has been really, really fast. Now that will probably change once we start going on the normal quest again, and we'll probably end up slaughtering everything because we're level 99. Anyway, still equipped with the best silk in the game, the best cloth in the game rather. I gave her, you know, I obviously did this a while ago, but I've been equipping her with the black hood and costume, but simply because it gives her more HP. She does lose a little bit of attack power, but attack power doesn't really make that much of a difference for her dances. She has PA save, which hardly ever triggers because usually she's either dancing or, yeah, that's pretty much it. She rarely gets attacked, and if she does, she usually takes a lot of damage because she's dancing. She does have attack up, which doesn't help with dances, but it does make her do a lot of damage with that silk. She has fly, which doesn't mean, she doesn't have very much movement, but she can at least get over obstacles and get on top of elevation rather easily. Punch Art really is just for support, nothing else. Forge is our ninja, who's of course our fastest party member. Currently, he now has the Suzuki knife and a Tomberry knife. So only one of his weapons now has instant death, which is fine. It's been great when it does trigger. Unfortunately, most of the things we've been fighting have been immune because this game cheats. But he has a thief hat for additional speed. He has a rubber costume for all the additional movements and just HP in general. His movement, he has the highest movement in the group. He has 8 movement as well as 4 jump. Concentrate means he can always hit with all of his attacks. Critical Quick is anytime he gets critical, he can immediately take an action. I'm not sure if Critical Quick really makes that much of a difference. One, I usually have really bad luck with it. Usually, at least on video, I have really bad luck on it. Usually when I'm grinding, it's not that big of a deal. But it's one of those things that only triggers while you're critical, and it's a 71% chance right now. Item, which is great because we don't really have that many people that have support abilities. Or we do, it's just that I generally don't mix them that often. And of course Throw, which is, it has 8 range and its damage is based off the weapon, the item he throws times his speed, which is quite a bit. So he's got quite a bit going there. Chizad, nothing has changed for him. I use him as a tank whenever possible, but that's about it. He does have maintenance, he does have decent evasion, and of course maintenance means he can't have his stuff broken or stolen. And Moonblade just means he takes half damage from all elements. Hitoshi has got the Materia Blade because he's using secondary black magic, which really all that does is help with Chain Lightning and Frog, because that's really all I use it for. The Materia Blade does pretty good damage by itself, and it works rather well with sword abilities. Has Concentrate for 100% accuracy, Speed Save for additional speed, and Teleport for mobility. The red shoes is really just to kind of reduce the fail chance of teleport, and that's about it. Also, I think you're a Master Mage, aren't you? You are now. Alright, Arya's got a significant power boost since she got the Masamune and the Genji equipment. I gave up some of her tankiness for a ribbon for those particular fights that involved status effects, but I might go ahead and just leave it on her just so she can remain immune to all status effects. Draw Out is pretty standard. The only problem with Draw Out is the final abilities of Draw Out are things that we just will never use. Like, I'm never going to use a Masamune because it could break it, which is a little annoying. Item for support. Regenerator is not too shabby now that she actually has HP, but of course it's not exactly fast. I think I mentioned this before, but 2 swords might not be that useful to Arya now, since obviously the Masamune by itself probably does more damage. And of course movement +3 for mobility. Hatsuno Kokoro is a mime. That's pretty much it. Shun Reaction still is has Sing and Talk skill. Unfortunately, Talk skill has not been useful for multiple reasons. One, it's well, correction. Well, there was a comment mentioning that, you know, the fact that people are immune to status effects means it also affects mediators, which it does, but mediators do have support abilities as well. It's just I never need to use them. So you have things like Preach, which can give you re-raise. You can do Warn to give someone Defend, which doesn't really do that much either. You can technically give someone Berserk, which some people have asked if that's something that you can do, and yes, you can. You can Berserk your own party members and make them just really crazy wrecking machines. Problem with that, of course, is one, you have to hit with your Berserk, which, depending on your character's evasion, could be an issue, or if they're immune, it won't matter. And if they're affected by status effects like Berserk, they're probably going to be affected by other status effects like Seal, which of course petrifies you, or Confusion, which will just make him a crazy guy that just targets anybody. So for the most part, yeah, I mean technically you can do support abilities, but yeah, the status effects against things that are generally immune obviously don't work that well. The other issue, of course, is mediators have innate monster talk, which is what allows them to actually use talk skills on monsters. Since Shun is a bard, he does not have monster talk, and so his talk skills do not work at all on monsters. Now, of course, we haven't ran into too many monsters, but, you know, things like the demons, which aren't immune to status effects, won't be affected by talk skills. That being said, he is equipped with the best harp in the game that has a chance of doing charm, which I have yet to see to proc. He does have equipped armor, which makes him a lot tankier, and also gives him additional speed, which is handy. HP restore is always good whenever it triggers, though of course my luck has not been great with it. Sing has always been a great support ability whenever used. Kind of the same issue as dancing is, of course, it might not go great with battles where you're right in the thick of things right off the bat, but other than that, it's not too shabby. Kiyomi, of course, has the Dragon Rod, which is ridiculously powerful and one-handed. It also goes great because, of course, Onion Knights can equip any gear, so she can equip a Dragon Rod with a shield, which is, of course, having some elemental damage as well. So she's super tanky. I did give up a little bit of her tankiness for a ribbon, but now she has high evasion, a Dragon Rod that can proc Bahamut, and she's immune to status effects. So pretty handy stuff. Skill-wise, of course, is Mastery, which doesn't do anything besides let her equip stuff. Black Magic, which seems to be the go-to secondary ability. Really, I only use it for Chain Lightning and Frog, if anything. Hamado is great if you fight things that are melee, which varies from fight to fight. And even then, it's only a 73% chance of proccing. Attack Up, of course, is great because it's 30% extra damage, and then, of course, Move +3 for mobility. Just seeing if there's anything she can master. Supposedly in other versions of this game, or not other versions of this game, but other versions of this game, like I guess the advanced version or something like that. Onion Knights actually got stronger based off the number of masteries they get, but that doesn't seem to apply in this version. Anyway, talk about Mosh. So Mosh has pretty much been the same. Supposedly I could change him into an Oracle just so he can supposedly look better, but that'll pretty much be mostly useless, as I've already stated why Oracles are unfortunately not that great. And unfortunately the description in the Insane Difficulty site, they praised about how Oracles are a lot more accurate with their stats effects. Unfortunately, they left out the fact that, you know, all the major fights that you would probably want CC in is they're immune to. But even with that, he now has Summon Magic and Time Magic. He's, I think, he's a Master. He's technically a Master Summoner, but he's missing one spell which he'll never learn, which is Zodiac. And Time Mage, as a Time Magic, he's only missing Quick and Demi 2, as well as some of the support abilities. But yeah, pretty standard stuff. I have him equipped with the Wizard Rod just for some additional magic attack. Short Charge really makes it so he can cast spells a lot faster. He could do a little bit more damage if he had magic attack up, but it would be slower cast. And to be honest, his fast spell casting is rather useful, especially with things like casting haste on everybody and things like that. Speed save it's there. He does have enough HP to kind of soak it now, but other than that, it's kind of just there. Move MP up really allows him to kind of keep going with his magic, though it kind of varies in its usefulness now since he has so much MP at 294. Also, pretty much any caster type characters are generally equipped with light robes, which sacrifices a little bit of magic attack, but it does increase their HP and MP quite a bit and give them regen, which can be helpful. Mustadio, not much to say about him. He has battle skill. Apparently the person that picked this character didn't expect me to use break skills, but that was kind of what I intended to do with them because I knew what battles were coming. But obviously he can do things like power ruin and all that too, so you may end up using those for boss fights since those are a little bit more accurate and they do 3 points at a time as opposed to of a dance that does only 1 per dance. Anyway, ability-wise, now Master Knight. He has counter magic, which it did trigger a few times, though it only works on certain things, and 60% chance of triggering. The attack up, which I originally said was probably not that useful for the gun, is actually going to probably be useful for that Ultimus bow, so he'll probably be doing a lot more damage now. Ignore height, of course, just allows him to get some additional mobility, and the rest is just speed and just more speed. Speaking of speed, you now have 18 speed. I don't think that actually increased his damage any, but it does make him faster. Agrias, been around for a while. Agrias, of course, has the Excalibur. It gives her haste, which allows her to immediately cast either Protect or Shell right off the bat in the beginning of the fight. Ribbon, of course, is what I've given her at the cost of tankiness, just so she can be immune to status effects, which have been really helpful. The rest has been devoted to speed, because she's not exactly fast or mobile, unfortunately. White magic support has been rather useful, especially with the haste, like I said. A lot of fights have been a lot easier, simply because I actually took advantage of spells like Protect and Shell, which I didn't really do in my previous playthroughs. It definitely makes things like the bio spells a lot more, survivable. Meatbone Slash has never procced, or, well, it's either never got an opportunity to proc, or if it did, it never procced when it did. It could have. In fact, the only time it ever procced was probably on some footage I cut out, where I accidentally used it on myself because my mime hit her and reduced her to critical. Attack Up, of course, has been great. It does cost her accuracy, but she does quite a bit of damage with her Holy Sword abilities. And Fly gives her at least the ability to avoid terrain, even though she only has about 3 mobility right now. Meliodol, I went and picked up this character mainly for that one fight so I can break a bunch of gear. I might mess around with her a little bit more for the upcoming fights. I, of course, gave her a ribbon so she's immune to stats effects. She's equipped with the Moonblade Ginty Shield. So her Mighty Sword abilities aren't as strong as any of the Holy Knight stuff, but she is a bit more tanky than the other characters. Besides that, I focused on accuracy and just evasion for the most part. Really the only thing I could give her that would benefit her is Abandon, but that would require me to grind her ninja abilities, which I haven't unlocked yet. Anyway, and Move Plus 3 for mobility, and then there's of course Reese, who no one has claimed, and then Beowulf, who no one has claimed. I gave him gear because he was a guest for a while, and that's about it. So, sorry for the rambly explanation, but I wanted to go ahead and just do kind of a thorough review of what we have so far. Like I said, I'll probably be taking a week off. I'll probably put up some Shadowverse videos in the meantime or something like that, or maybe I'll just double up on Renowned Explorers just to kind of get that sped up a little bit. But yeah, thank you guys for participating. This has been, out of all the attempts for trying to get people to vote and participate, this has probably been the most participation I've had in any of my videos. That includes the other tactics videos, as well as the other, as well as my Toho Soccer 2 videos. So thank you guys for participating, and as always, I am Theodore. This is Final Fantasy Tactics. I'll probably check on this in a week. If there's been any changes, I'll try to update. Anyway, see you guys later.